Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest challenges for leaders right now, AI. How do you actually lead your people through this huge, monumental shift? We're going to break down a playbook for that today.
All right, let's just dive right in. I want you to picture something that's happening all over the place right now. You've got two companies, they buy the exact same AI software. For company A, it's incredible, a total game changer. But for company B, woof, it's a disaster. So what gives? Why the completely different results?
So here's the thing. The difference? It's not the software. Not at all. You've got company A, boom, a 20% jump in productivity, smooth adoption. Meanwhile, over at company B, morale is in the tank and the whole project just stalls out. The real deciding factor here isn't the tech, it's the leadership. It's all about how they handle the people side of things.
Okay, so you might be thinking, we've done big tech rollouts before, right? A lot of us remember those massive ERP implementations, enterprise resource planning systems. But here's the catch. AI is a totally different beast. You really can't just dust off that old playbook and expect it to work.
And this chart, this really lays it all out. Just look at the difference. ERPs, they were these huge, structured, top-down things. IT was in charge, the upfront costs were insane, and for the people, it meant tons of formal sit-down training. Now flip that for generative AI. It's unstructured, flexible, way more bottom-up, the barrier to entry is so much lower, and the human impact? It's way more intuitive, more organic. And that right there is why you need a completely new way of leading.
So, this new kind of human impact, it brings a really powerful and honestly an often underestimated challenge to the table, and that's the fear factor. Seriously, this time it feels different. The level of fear and anxiety around AI, it's just on a whole other level.
I mean, think about it. We're not just talking about learning a new button on a screen. This is a deep human reaction to massive uncertainty. People are genuinely worried. They're asking, will my skills still matter? Is my role going to change completely? Am I going to lose my job? These aren't technical problems to solve. They are very real emotional hurdles.
And this right here, this shows a huge disconnect happening at the very top. So Gartner did this survey recently, right? They asked CEOs how ready their top execs are for AI. Now look at this. The Chief Human Resources Officer, the person in charge of all the people stuff, CEOs rated them at just 7% readiness. 7! That's pretty wild. It suggests that the very leaders who should be guiding the human side of this are perceived as the least prepared for it.
So what happens? Well, this leads a lot of leaders to make a really common and frankly, a pretty dangerous assumption. They see resistance, they see pushback from their teams, and they think, oh, they just don't get the tech. If I just explain it better, they'll come around.
But that is just fundamentally false. Look, resistance isn't about people being ignorant. It's a symptom of their fear. And the answer isn't to throw another training module at them. No, the answer is leadership. It's leaders who step up, address those fears head-on with some real empathy, create a safe space to talk, and communicate clearly about why this change is happening.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do you lead through such a complex situation? Well, it all starts by rethinking who owns this transformation. Spoiler alert, it's not just an IT project anymore.
You need a new leadership trio. The budget, the strategy, it has to be co-owned. You've got your CFO, of course, they're watching the money. You've got your CIO, they're managing all the tech. But then you have the CHRO, the Chief Human Resources Officer, and they bring what might be the most critical piece of the puzzle, a real understanding of the workforce. Putting these three together, that shared ownership is the only way you're going to successfully balance the tech, the finances, and most importantly, the people.
And this means the role of the CHRO has to evolve. A lot. They can't just be the department that says no, or the policing body that's only focused on costs. They need to become true strategic partners. They need to have their finger on the pulse of the entire organization, proactively shaping what the workforce of the future looks like, not just reacting when things go wrong.
All right, let's get practical. How do you actually win your teams over? Because the goal here isn't just to manage resistance. No, the real win is turning your biggest skeptics into your most powerful champions.
So here's the playbook, and it's all about empowerment, not forcing this stuff on people. First step, find your subject matter experts. I'm talking about the people on the ground who really know how things work right now. Bring them into the fold early on. Step 2, create a center of excellence around them. Empower them to lead the change. Next, you use storytelling. Think about it, a story from your coworker about how they saved 4 hours on a tedious report, that's way more powerful than some corporate memo. And the final, and maybe most important step, is to create psychological safety. You have to build a no-blame environment where it's okay to try things, it's okay to mess up, and it's okay to learn as you go.
You know, when you boil everything down, all the tech, all the strategy, all the budget spreadsheets, the success of this whole thing really comes down to one simple, timeless idea.
Transformation is still a human sport. It doesn't matter how smart the algorithm is or how slick the new bot is. To win this game, you have to focus on the people who are actually playing it. The tech is just the equipment. Your people are the athletes.
So that leaves us with one crucial question for you to think about. Is your organization playing to win? As you pour money and resources into the latest tech stack, are you investing just as much, if not more, into your people strategy? Because at the end of the day, in this new age of AI, that human-centric playbook, that's what's going to separate the winners from the losers.